Welcome Wednesday to you all, minutes after 6 bells, in studio here again to live the run. We talk everything health and fitness. No Olympian Paul Tarek tonight, but I am super excited. We got co-host, athlete, owner, color commentator as well.
Multitasker.
CrossFit Inferno's Bill Grundler. Been with us before. Bill, thanks for coming in the studio.
Oh, I love this. I love this place, man. I'm glad to be here.
It's good stuff, man. We're coming off a huge week for you, huge weekend. There's all kinds of stuff on the chart for us to talk about today. We're going to talk Badwater. We're going to talk Vineman. We got Van McCarty coming in a little bit later. Took second place at the Vineman this last weekend. But let's talk first, right up your alley. You were color commentating down there. CrossFit World Championships down south. Hey, can we even ask, is it even appropriate to say, what was the highlight moment there? Or should we just say,
oh, wow.
how many to choose from?
Yeah, it was the amount of athletes that are there, first of all, the athleticism of the athletes now are so incredible. And the fact that the games, quote-unquote games, started in 2007, and now here we are in 2013, and we went from literally just a barbecue, backyard barbecue and, a couple beers to the StubHub Center soccer arena with 25,000 people jam-packed just to watch a clean and jerk ladder to see who can lift, do a clean and jerk, or a swimming event, down in Irvine or whatever. It was literally unbelievable every second of every event that was going on. It was absolutely out of control.
It's kind of a funny thing. I'm thinking about these listeners sitting in their car now. They're driving home. They go, "What did you just say? A clean and jerk? What? 25,000 people came out to see. This is incredible stuff. You're looking at baseball stadiums that can't get anybody to show up.
Right.
NBA affiliates were having trouble as well getting people to show up. You got people doing clean and jerks that most people have no idea what that even means.
Yeah.
You got 25,000 people coming out because that energy is massive out there in the realm of health and fitness, human potential, human performance.
Well, it was just seeing what these guys can do. No matter what was thrown at them, whether there was a swimming event, there was a rowing event, there was basically a tire flipping event. They had this thing called a pig. It was for the guys that ended up being 490 pounds that they had to flip down a football field. So 100 meters of flipping this 490-pound pig, quote unquote, that's what they called it, after running 2 miles, then having to carry a 100-pound log 600 meters to the actual soccer stadium, and then dragging 310 pounds down the field. Every single thing they threw at these guys, they're all, literally, they should all be drawn superheroes, in a comic book somewhere. Didn't matter what you threw at them, they were smashing everything.
Yeah, it does. It sounds a lot like what my sons love. That's Captain America material for sure.
Totally. If there was capes, everyone needed a cape, I swear. And they all look like, the guys and girls, everyone is chiseled, and they all look different, but they all look extremely fit. Everyone's got the abs, and they all got the shoulders and the back and the legs, and everybody looks amazing. Whether they're tall and lean or short and stocky, it didn't matter. Everyone just, I'm telling you, they all need a mask and they all need a cape. All of them.
It's kind of striking to me. One of the things, it seems like a lot of people around here, a lot of people across the nation like to watch professional sports. They're not intimidated by it. They'll watch the basketball, they'll watch the baseball, they'll go out, they'll play a little bit, they'll get in a rec league and so forth.
Yeah.
Things like CrossFit seem to be a bit more intimidating to the average person. I think it's exciting to see 25,000 people out there. Let's kind of scale it back for just a second and say, yeah, the average person's not going to be running around with logs, flipping 490-pound tires down 100 meters. But they can get into the mindset more that in a CrossFit gym, they can do a variety of things to create adaptation in their system.
Totally.
Such that their human life adapts better to whatever brings their way. Yes?
Yeah, absolutely. There is a large difference between the CrossFit Games, which is the sport of fitness, trying to find the fittest man and woman on the planet, versus CrossFit, the fitness program, which is a strength and conditioning for, increase work capacity over broad times and modal domain and be able to do whatever you need to do. A broad difference between those two. These guys are athletes, and they are training for the volume and the assault that their body's going to take to do all these different things. They need to be able to do that. Just like an NFL football player is going to train a particular way rather than the guy who goes down and is on a flag football league down at the beach, every other weekend or something like that. Totally different deal. He does that just to stay in shape. The NFL player does it for a living. These guys, it's the exact same way. Those guys, they are professional athletes now. And then the fitness program, all the movements that they do are all functional movements. And again, when we talk functional movements, it's things that you need to have you need to be able to do to have an independent lifestyle. You got to be able, you got to be able to pick yourself up off the ground. You got to be able to sit up off or stand up off of the chair, pull yourself up, over a wall. And whether it's your job or your life or your sport, all these movements are, the movements that you do in the gym, whether it is flipping tires or not, they will mimic activities that you do out in the real life. And that's what's great about them. Everyone can do them. You can scale them to anyone's ability. In our gym, we've had, older folks, we've had paraplegics, we've had kids, we've had great athletes, and everyone has to go and do the workout at the same time. And everyone's going to be doing it just a little bit different, what's normal for them, and and then go for improvements from there.
Yeah, I think one of the things, of course, you guys do is a lot of body weight stuff, and the body weight stuff, it's resonating with people, I think, because it's such an easy thing to do anywhere. You can be somebody who travels a lot, so getting into those push and pull motions, some of the different things, the burpees and some of these different things, the great workouts for folks, because again, they can travel with them. They don't have to have the equipment all the time. And so I think some of your guys' workouts, although in your gym, you have all the weights, you have all the equipment.
Yeah.
You also facilitate, I think what people don't always understand is that you guys also facilitate workouts for folks to be able to do if they don't have the equipment.
Oh, yeah. You don't always need to have a bar to do a workout. So people think that, like, if I can't get to the gym, then, well, I guess I'm not working out today. And that should never be the case. The great thing about the body weight movements is you have to be able to do them. If I'm not in the gym and I fall down when I'm at the store, guess what? I have to get up off the ground. So it's really fun. We have people that they'll come in and do the push-ups, and they don't bring their chest down, or it's a fist depth. They want to make sure that they come down and stop at about a fist depth, because they're doing it for whatever service, arm service or whatever, because whatever test they have. And I'm like, okay, I need you to go all the way down. Yeah, I know, but that's not the test I do. And I'm like, that's fine. But until you find out how to float when you go to land on the ground and you hover, 4 inches off the ground, let me know, because I want to be able to do that. But until then, on the ground, because that's where you're going to end up if you fall. So get up off the ground, sit up all the way, stand up all the way, pull yourself up all the way. And again, body, everyone has a body, everyone needs to move it, and we want everyone to move a particular way. Once you are able to do that, that's when we start putting weight on it, because you know what? The stronger athlete is just a better athlete. There's no way around it.
Yeah, no question. I was thinking today out on my workout, this is the greatest place on earth to live, from the standpoint that a lot of these workouts we literally can do 365 days a year. We can use the track. We can use the outdoors.
Yeah.
We can use his, one of my buddies who's out here from Minnesota. And, the reality is he's got 6 months of freezing. He can't go outside.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not what you want to. You can still do the workouts, but it gets pretty boring doing burpees and sit-ups all day long, in the same room.
Indoors. We're fortunate out here. All right, so I went out today. Hadn't been on the track for a while. Got a few 800s in. Started at a pace, dropped 5 seconds, did six sets. What'd you get in today?
Me?
Yeah, what'd you get for a workout?
You want to know? Okay, let me tell you what I did.
Yeah, let the listeners know what's the average day.
Let me tell you what I did.
Bill Grundler.
Actually, I was up this morning because we had our early classes, and right before that, my 12-year-old daughter had a sleepover, so I didn't go to bed till about 12:30 last night with young girls running around my house screaming and painting toenails and stuff. Got up early this morning and did the classes. Was able to come back and get like a half hour of sleep in. Went on a hike with my daughters. We went and hiked Boney Ridge. And that was great. So we just, basically did that. And what we did, honestly, check this out. No weights, but we found some rocks. So we did some Atlas stone with the biggest rocks we could find in it. She found a rock that she could pick up, and we picked it up, threw it down, picked it up on the other side, threw it down. Just moving anything. And the cool thing about going outdoors to do it, no, that was not the workout that I was planning on doing. I really wanted to get in. We have one of our members actually leaving. He's going to Arizona to go to school, and I was hoping to get in the workout with him today. But so it wasn't what I wanted to do, but I still got a great workout. I was outside. I was breathing. It was a beautiful day. Got the heart rate up. Got a little sweat. Picked some rocks up, kind of gladiator style. That was awesome. So
I got to get more people walking through my clinic saying, so what'd you do today? Well, went out, picked up a few rocks.
Picked up some rocks, threw some tin cans around. A couple cans of Campbell's.
We all weighted tin cans.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, launched them as high as I could over my shoulder. Tried not to hit any wildlife,
totally.
Along the way. You hit the great point. 365 days a year outside, we can do it. And I think you just said something really good that we've been trying to push on this show here on Living the Run. And again, you guys can listen to us every week here Wednesday nights, 6 to 7. Check us out on Facebook.com/LivingTheRun or LivingTheRun.com. We put these podcasts up if you miss anything. But one thing we say is just do something every day.
Yeah.
So there it is. You just suggested maybe this wasn't my ideal. Mentally, I had in my head I was going to do something else, but didn't work out that way. I adapted.
Totally.
And I took what it gave me, gave what the day gave me, and I got my heart rate up, made my blood boil, we often say here, and just did something.
Yeah.
And there's just no excuse never to do something.
It's so easy. It's just so easy to say, well, I couldn't get it in because of this. But the fact of the matter is that, I mean, a lot of, and especially the workouts that we do, man, I'll tell you what, I remember back in the days where it was spending, 2.5, 3 hours in the gym, doing chest on one day and back and buys on the next, like that style of working out. And it really took a long time in the gym. I spent a lot of time in the gym. Now with this, with high intensity interval training becoming more of a craze and people are starting to get it now finally, the amount of time it takes to do that diminishes. I mean, we can have a workout in the gym that is literally 10 minutes long, and that is the only workout you need to do that day, 10 minutes, and you are slammed. So it's all a matter of how you work it. And if I know that I don't have a whole lot of time and I know I can't go anywhere, all right, I can do burpees. I can do 7 minutes of burpees in my house. And I will tell anyone who wants to go and try 7 minutes of burpees as fast as you can, you're not going to like that one, I promise.
You're gassed at the end. Ryan Joyner gave us that one from Athlon Elite. I think he's going to come on a little later with us. He generally does. He gave us that blackjack workout. You know that one where he told us to do 2 exercises, push-ups and squats.
Yeah.
Everything's got to be to 21. Start with 20 squats, squats, 1 push-up.
Yeah,
19,
and you do a ladder,
2,
you crisscross.
18, 3,
yeah.
17, and you crisscross.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's the only workout you need that day.
Totally.
You're gassed at the end.
Yeah, and especially if you go fast. I mean, a lot of what people have to understand is it's about the intensity. Correct form, full range of motion, and all that kind of stuff, but intensity, because you can do that same workout and really stretch the time frame out, and it's like all of a sudden, if it took you 2 hours to do it, you really lost the purpose of what that, or what the real gains that you could have got out of that. Were you moving? Yeah. Did you get something out of it? Probably, but if you were someone who's a little bit in better shape, it's like, no, okay, let's ramp it up. So go fast. Do your 21 as fast as you can, drop down, do the 1 push-up, get back up right away, and just see how fast you can go. It is a unique experience if you're not used to doing that. We have a lot of people that come to the gym that are regular athletes, that are very athletic, that work out all the time. They are trainers at other locations, and they can oh, yeah, I'm going to crush this, and they come in, and it's a very eye-opening experience if they're not used to pushing to that, to that level. So that's why I like having the athletes come in, because they're usually used to pushing.
Yeah.
They're used to that. They're used to the coach yelling at them, and that's what we do anyway. So,
Good point. Hey, Rex Stevens in with CrossFit Inferno's Bill Grundler. Van McCarty coming up in about 20 minutes. He's going to come in. We're going to talk a little bit of Vineman. Ironman this last weekend. Van took second place, local runner, local athlete, a fan of Living the Run. He's setting up for Kona in October. Bill, we're going to come back after the break. I mentioned it last week. I had heard through the grapevine that there were some guys at the CrossFit Games rowing a half marathon. People emailed me, said, you must have got the distance wrong. You confirmed it for me.
I thought for sure they accidentally added a 0 when they put that out, and no, they weren't lying. They weren't lying.
We're going to talk about just how merrily these people rode their boat here on Living the Run. That's coming up next.
You're listening to Living the Run on ESPN Radio 1280 The Ticket.
Hey guys, Paul Tarek from Living the Run here. As a former Olympian, there is only one place myself and fellow athletes go when it comes to chiropractic care on the Central Coast. With 4 chiropractors in the clinic, Slow Wellness Center is the largest, most comprehensive group of docs in San Luis Obispo County. I began seeing Dr. Rex Stevens back in 2005 for spinal adjustments to help maximize my performance, minimize my injury, and allow me to compete at my best. When the difference between a win and a loss can be just a fraction of an inch, perfect alignment in all joints is essential. One of the great things about the team at Slow Wellness is no matter where I had an issue, whether it was my spine, my foot, knee, wrist, or shoulder, they were always able to help. This team, made up of Dr. Rex and Molly Stevens, Dr. Sachs, and Dr. Bandolo, is sure to help you reach your health and fitness goals too. If it's chiropractic care you need, go where I go, Slow Wellness Center. Check them out at slowwellness.com or call 543-8688.
Folks, When it comes to the health of my teeth, I will not compromise, and neither should you. It's time you go where my wife and I go. Go see Dr. Ryan Ross. I get it. Not everyone loves a dentist, and heck, even a few of you out there are scared to death of these offices. Bad past experiences? Well, you ever had a bad haircut? How about a bad meal somewhere? You didn't stop getting your haircut, and you certainly didn't stop eating, so stop ignoring your teeth. Dr. Ross's gentle approach, calming demeanor, and office full of upbeat staff put your dental fears to rest. Conveniently located in a great little house on Marsh Street downtown, Dr. Ross's office exudes the highest level of professionalism, mixed with an atmosphere much like your own home. Look, nobody's in a rush here. It's not a get 'em in, get 'em out atmosphere. Every time I'm in Dr. Ross's office, it's like I'm the only guy that matters. No distractions, just full focus on my oral health. If you're interested in the highest quality in dental care and want to walk out of the office every time with a smile, call Dr. Ryan Ross today, 541-5800.
Puma Aquatics team offers year-round swim programming for novice, recreational, and competitive swimmers. For 16 years, Puma has developed some of the fastest swimmers on the Central Coast, as well as the nation. Puma has 3 convenient locations to choose from, providing programming for all of San Luis Obispo County. Puma offers swim assessments for new swimmers on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the SLO Kennedy Club, Atascadero Kennedy Club, and Arroyo Grande High School. For more information about Puma Aquatics, check out pumaswim.org. Join the Puma Pride and challenge yourself to reach new levels in your swimming. Puma Aquatics, where pride, passion, and persistence pay off.
You want to get fit? And I mean really fit? Fit for fun? Fit for looking good? Fit for life? It can happen for you at Athlon Fitness and Performance in San Luis Obispo. Athlon has a 4-week fitness fast start designed to get anyone back on track and moving like a champion quickly and effectively. For a limited time, you can start Athlon's 4-week fitness fast start for only $197. That's 4 weeks of personal training, nutritional guidance, movement rehabilitation, motivation, fun, and encouragement, all for just $197. Take your body and your athleticism to a new level. Go to athlonslo.com. That's ATHLONSLO.com to learn more about the 4-week fitness fast start. It'll be the best decision you'll ever make.
We're back with Living the Run.
Welcome back to Living the Run. Rex Stevens in with CrossFit Inferno's Bill Grundler. This segment being brought to you by our new sponsor, Team Swayze. Look at, for any real estate need, check out teamswayze.com. You can call them at 805-781-3750. When it comes to real estate, there's nobody that's even a close second. Most realtors, they love it if they could sell a house a month. One a month would be a darn good year. Team Swayze goes at over 10 a month. They've been doing it for the last over 20 years. Hal Swayze and his team over there will get it done. When you talk experience, when you talk understanding the market, check out Hal Swayze and his team. Again, teamswayze.com. Call them at 805-781-3750. We were talking before the break, this CrossFit World Championships. If you hadn't heard about this, they happened this last weekend. Bill Grundler was down there color commentating. He saw it all. We spilled it last week. We had heard rumor that there was a 13-mile rowing event. People emailed me. They called me. They said, you must have got the numbers wrong. I said, well, I'll talk to Bill when it comes out. This is for real, wasn't it?
They weren't lying. They weren't lying.
Row that boat.
You know what's crazy is a lot of people think that, all right, the high-intensity interval stuff, all we're going to do is make these guys do short workouts. They made sure that the endurance and the stamina part was also involved in this. I mean, they weren't lying. A half marathon, 21,000 meters on the rower.
It's a big thing. Let me just say this. I mean, when you go to gyms now, every gym has rowers.
Right.
You know, your gym, Kennedy, any of these gyms, they all have rowers. And in fact, a lot of them have rowing classes.
Yeah.
You know, it's hey, instead of going to spin class, I'm going to rowing class.
Yeah.
But talk about the speed on this a little bit and the distances these guys are going because, again, when we were talking about this at the break, everybody believes they can row. They say, hey, what's the big deal on this?
Right.
13 miles is a long way. This is a half marathon. And talk about the speed and efficiency these guys are doing it, guys and gals. It's remarkable.
Okay, first of all, I like my personal opinion is the rower is one of the worst pieces of machinery ever invented. It is, I mean, truly demonic. It's very simple. Everyone can do it. You strap your feet in, start pulling on the chain. No big deal. But if you really get going, I mean, it is all over. I mean, it's a full body deal. You're working your legs, you're working your hips, you're working your back, you're working your shoulders and your arms. So, I mean, it is all over full body workout without a doubt. The way they set the workout up for the CrossFit Games is it was a 2-part event. The overall distance was 21,000 meters. That was actually, they already had an event 1 that was a swimming event that they did. Event 2 was actually the first 2,000 meters of that 21,000 meters. So you have an all-out sprint.
The numbers are so darn high, they're hard to say.
I know. I mean, and that's the thing. Like rowers know 500 meters. They know that as a sprint. They know 2,000 meters. And basically, that's about it. I mean, that's about where they kind of exist. I mean, I'm by no means a rower. But usually when they talk rowing distances, those are the ones you're going to see.
Yeah, they don't talk half marathon.
No, they don't do that. So the first part of this event is, okay, go as fast as you can for 2,000 meters. And what these guys were doing, Jason Kalipa won for the men. He's from NorCal. Samantha Briggs won for the women. She's actually from the UK. Jason rode, it was 6:31, I believe. And as far as like how that compares to true rowers, he's about 50 seconds off the world's record time, which sounds like a lot, but if you compare it to like the guys that get world record times, that's what they do. Like they are the best of the rowers. They probably aren't going to be very good at all these other things, but that's what they do. Samantha Briggs, she was only about 40 seconds off the world's record time, so pretty impressive right out of the gate. And that's for the 2,000 meters.
Well, okay, let's put this in perspective for a second because we've had a couple of guests, and again, we got Van McCarty in about 10 minutes. Here talking Vineman coming off the Ironman this last weekend. We've had Ashton Eaton, one of Paul Tarrick's buddies, decathlete, okay, world champion right now.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing it sounds to me. In the decathlon, you get guys that can do things very, very well. Ashton's done a couple of things where he was the best long jumper actually in America.
Yeah.
Better than all the long jumpers.
Yeah.
Which is pretty incredible because he's a decathlete. He's doing everything, high jumping, sprinting, doing all these things. So you expect him to do a lot of things really well. You don't expect him to be the best. So when you start talking less than a minute, you know, he's only less than a minute away.
I mean, off the world's record.
Off the world record of people that all they do is row.
Right. So I mean that is pretty mind-boggling without a doubt right off the get-go.
What was that time again? Let's get people to do this because people aren't going to go row for a half a marathon for the most.
6:31 was the time that Jason got.
6:31 for 2,000 meters.
Yeah, and
right.
Then,
6:31. So listeners, if you want to just kind of check out how fast this guy was going, get in there, hit 2,000 meters on your rower the next time you go, and just time it.
Yeah.
See, 6:31's flying.
6:31, it's moving. It's moving. And then right after that, again, he doesn't get off the rower. He just continues for the next 19,000 meters. It ends up with a 1 hour and 18 minutes on the rower. So again, Jason Kalipa, he's about 5'10", about 215 pounds. So obviously the weight is going to play in his fashion. The taller guys are going to be even better. But I mean, he won the sprint and won the distance. Same thing with Samantha Briggs. She won the sprint and then won the distance. But it's funny because I've seen a lot of people try to copy the events. You know, everyone wants to see how they compare to everyone, and the only event that everyone's doing is this row event because everyone can row. So I've seen on Facebook a ton of pictures of the screen of how many meters and what their times were. And these guys are doing 1:18, and everyone else is around 2 hours. 2 hours and 10 minutes, 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's insane.
We're gonna have to ask Van McCarty. He's been on the bike for hours and hours. He runs for hours and hours. He swims for a long time. But rowing, for an hour to 2 hours. I mean, that's just on a rowing machine.
Yeah.
I mean, nonetheless. I mean, I can see it. Yeah. I don't know. You're in the Charles River out there in Boston or something.
No, they had them all. They had 90 rowers. So they had the men and women all go at one time. 90 rowers all sit up in the big velodrome down at the StubHub Center down there, and they had on the wall this gigantic chart of digital displays of where all the boats were, so you can kind of see where your boat was and where you compared to everyone else. So it looked like it had this massive, wall of boats cruising down this digital, river. But in there, it was just a bunch of rowers, and all you heard was zzz, 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 all, for that whole hour and 30 minutes. It was crazy.
Oh, man, you must have been stoked. Again, Bill Grundler in here with Rex Stevens, Living the Run Radio. You listen here at ESPN 1280 The Ticket. Paul Tarrick, Olympian Paul Tarrick, who's usually in with us, always says that he had a a face for radio and a voice for silent movies. I I kind of was thinking, you got into the color commentating thing. How'd you get into the color commentating thing? ESPN2, ESPN3.
Yeah.
You obviously do a great job at it, and you love it. How'd you get into it?
It was, in all reality, it was right place at the right time, a little luck of the draw. I'm known as the old guy that competes with all the young guys. I'm 44, and everyone else is, in their 25, 26, 27. And 2010 was the first year they asked me to do it, and basically it was the first time that CrossFit broadcasted any sort of regional event or anything like that, and they had me come on a couple times because I did pretty well in some of the events, and they were talking to me. And as I'm walking out to the very last event, the director of media, Tony Buddy, he's like, hey, if you win or if you do well and you score high enough to where you can go to the games, that'd be great because we'd love to cover you there because we love the fact that you're older than these guys, and that's awesome. But if you don't make it, how about, what would you think about being on our commentating team and doing that? I'm like, okay, so I get to go to the games as an athlete, or I get to go to the games as a commentator. Yes, sign me up, totally. So
that's true win-win.
Yeah, and I ended up missing qualifying by 2 spots that year, and they're like, okay, here we go. So that was when it was at the Home Depot Center, StubHub Center now. It was the Home Depot Center, and they brought me on, and I by no means had any sort of background in broadcasting. It was just, firefighter, captain, coach, teacher kind of a thing, and talking about CrossFit, so it made it easy.
Little color commentating.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Hey, looks like Van McCarty showed up in the studio. We're going to bring Van in just a minute. Talk Ironman, Vineman up in Napa, and what is on the schedule for Van. Looking forward to Kona, Hawaii. Big time race up there. Again, Rex Stevens, Bill Grundler, CrossFit Inferno in studio. You're listening to ESPN 1280 The Ticket. Stick with us.
You're listening to Living the Ride on ESPN Radio 1280 The Ticket.
Hey guys, Paul Tarek from Living the Run here. As a former Olympian, there is only one place myself and fellow athletes go when it comes to chiropractic care on the Central Coast. With 4 chiropractors in the clinic, Slow Wellness Center is the largest, most comprehensive group of docs in San Luis Obispo County. I began seeing Dr. Rex Stevens back in 2005 for spinal adjustments to help maximize my performance, minimize my injury, and allow me to compete at my best. When the difference between a win and a loss can be just a fraction of an inch, perfect alignment in all joints is essential. One of the great things about the team at Slow Wellness is no matter where I had an issue, whether it was my spine, my foot, knee, wrist, or shoulder, they were always able to help. This team, made up of Dr. Rex and Molly Stevens, Dr. Sachs, and Dr. Bandolo, is sure to help you reach your health and fitness goals too. If it's chiropractic care you need, go where I go, Slow Wellness Center. Check them out at slowwellness.com or call 543-8688.
Folks, when it comes to the health of my teeth, I will not compromise, and neither should you. It's time you go where my wife and I go. Go see Dr. Ryan Ross. I get it. Not everyone loves a dentist, and heck, even a few of you out there are scared to death of these offices. Bad past experiences? Well, you ever had a bad haircut? How about a bad meal somewhere? You didn't stop getting your haircut, and you certainly didn't stop eating, so stop ignoring your teeth. Dr. Ross's gentle approach, calming demeanor, and office full of upbeat staff put your dental fears to rest. Conveniently located in a great little house on Marsh Street downtown, Dr. Ross's office exudes the highest level of professionalism, mixed with an atmosphere much like your own home. Look, nobody's in a rush here. It's not a get 'em in, get 'em out atmosphere. Every time I'm in Dr. Ross's office, it's like I'm the only guy that matters. No distractions, just full focus on my oral health. If you're interested in the highest quality in dental care and want to walk out of the office every time with a smile, call Dr. Ryan Ross today, 541-5800.
Puma Aquatics team offers year-round swim programming for novice, recreational, and competitive swimmers. For 16 years, Puma has developed some of the fastest swimmers on the Central Coast, as well as the nation. Puma has 3 convenient locations to choose from, providing programming for all of San Luis Obispo County. Puma offers swim assessments for new swimmers on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the SLO Kennedy Club, Atascadero Kennedy Club, and Arroyo Grande High School. For more information about Puma Aquatics, check out pumaswim.org. Join the Puma Pride and challenge yourself to reach new levels in your swimming. Puma Aquatics, where pride, passion, and persistence pay off.
You want to get fit? And I mean really fit? Fit for fun? Fit for looking good? Fit for life? It can happen for you at Athlon Fitness and Performance in San Luis Obispo. Athlon has a 4-week fitness fast start designed to get anyone back on track and moving like a champion quickly and effectively. For a limited time, you can start Athlon's 4-week fitness fast start for only $197. That's 4 weeks of personal training, nutritional guidance, movement rehabilitation, motivation, fun, and encouragement, all for just $197. Take your body and your athleticism to a new level. Go to athlonslow.com. That's ATHLONSLO.com to learn more about the 4-week fitness fast start. It'll be the best decision you'll ever make.
We're back with Living the Run.
Welcome back to Living the Run. This segment brought to you, as always, by our favorite Jaffa Cafe. When you want the best Greek food in San Luis Obispo, go to Jaffa Cafe. Our guest, as always, will get a $20 gift card to Jaffa. So sounds like our guest today will need that as usual. Van's been on this show before. Again, CrossFit Inferno's Bill Grundler in with me in studio. Van, Bill's coming off the CrossFit World Championships. He was there. There's some serious endurance going on there. We got a couple of things to try to hit on with you that we haven't hit on before. You were out there for 9 hours and 27 minutes, took second place at the Ironman. Congratulations on that, and you're looking smoking for going into Kona. But let's just ask this. You've been on the bike for a long time, you've been in the pool a long time, and you sure run for a long time. But have you ever been on a rowing machine for close to 2 hours or an hour and a half, rowing 13 miles worth of 21,000 meters on a rowing machine?
I've had my share of time on the rowing machine in the past, but no, I think 45 minutes was about the max I had done.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even 45 minutes is a long time.
It is a long time.
Totally.
Time.
The cool thing about him is like he knows what it's like to be in the seat for a long time.
Yeah.
No question.
Whether it's on the run or on the bike, but that's insane. One place, not going anywhere.
Where?
I mean, literally not going anywhere for an hour and a half, just sitting there, spinning it.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I said Bill says a demon to him. I mean, the demon to me is the pool. I think the pool is the worst thing ever. You swim, you stare at a black line, you go wall to wall. I mean, that's prison. But hey, talk about this. You said a little painful on this Ironman. Different. They all sound painful to me. But Bill hit an interesting point here earlier. He was talking about going hard, going fast, going hard. When you think about going 9 hours, we go, geez, that's very fast. It's a long time out there. But there's people out there for 15 hours. That sounds more treacherous. So go hard, right?
I agree.
Get through it. Get through the pain a little bit.
I agree.
And talk about the myth on that. You were saying everything's got to be out there. You've been doing a lot of stuff on the spin. Talk about your training going into this Ironman.
Yeah. Training wasn't ideal how I normally train for an Ironman with the hamstring thing I had earlier in the year that had me skip the marathon
Slow
and Wildflower.
Yep.
That was a tough pill to swallow, but we got back at it. Rex was helping me out quite a bit, which was good, and just getting that back in shape. So my run training probably wasn't ideal, but getting back to this go hard type of thing, I think it works no matter what distance you're racing, whether it's an Ironman or a shorter distance or even say a half marathon. You don't have to train to do the whole distance or take all the chunks all at once. I think the best thing, you get your intervals in, you do your hard stuff, you get some recovery in, but just get the hard stuff down, and then the endurance will come. Because if you pace yourself, you can go all day long. You could run 24 hours if you run the right pace. That's the key, is for every person to find that right balance. And so you take your training, you just focus on it. I was telling Rex half my bike training is on the spin bikes at the gym and spin classes or doing other stuff, because that's when it fits into my schedule. I get in, I put in the hard work and be done with it.
Hey, one of our favorite guests on here is Dean Karnazes. Dean's done a lot of stuff in the world of ultra marathoning. I don't know if this is in your future, but you just talked about running for 24 hours. They just finished Badwater. Have you heard this one? I mean, are you serious? Start in Death Valley, kind of go hit the summit of Mount Whitney at 14,500 feet, 133 miles in between, little heat along the way. One of the guys went in just over 24 hours, stunning the guy that won it. It seems crazy. When Ironman is done, or when you want to go on to the next thing, any ultras potentially in your future?
I've been eyeing some of the 50 milers every now and again, and for the last couple years, it's just something kind of seems to come up. But I definitely, 50 miles I think is a good distance for me right now.
You
to do.
can have that distance. It's all you,
But,
all you.
But still the 100 miles like Western States and those types of ones. I don't have that in there yet. I don't know if my feet would really want to put up with that. That's a lot of time on your feet.
No question.
What kind of you always hear about, especially with like the ultra marathons, and this is what always blew my mind with ultra marathoners is you always hear about people when they train for marathons that it's like 80% of runners get injured from the training that they do. Why is that? Why is it so bad, or why is that number so high, and why does everyone keep training that way? I mean, if you're just like what you were saying, I mean, like you don't need to do that. I mean, it's about time that someone tried to figure out the interval stuff, so like you can do it that way and not having to just spend hours and hours and hours on your feet. But what? I mean, how are people supposed to handle that?
Well, Rex, I'm sure is a heck of a lot more knowledgeable on this, but from experience, running is about the only sport or anything I've ever done that if you even just overtrain slightly, your body just fires right back at you with a tear, a strain, a stress, or something. And I can only believe it's only based on the impact.
Yeah.
And I think any biomechanical abnormalities your body has, because very few people are 100% linear, is just aggravated by your hips rotating, and that pounding of the ground is just so unforgiving. I could, when I'm injured, I'm in doing my pool running. I've never hurt myself ever running in the pool.
Right.
Boredom.
Right.
But other than that,
well, you guys hit an interesting point. I mean, you hit right on it. Is anyone perfectly symmetrical? I think it's one of the things. You don't see a lot of the Kenyans, the Ethiopians, these guys. They're not entering Ironman competitions, and my guess, one of the reasons why is when you looked at those guys run, or if you've ever had the privilege of running with them, and I've actually run, I got to train in Atlanta when I lived in Atlanta on some trails that were known as some of the best trails for marathoners. And these guys would run by you, and literally you could not hear them coming. They're so light, and then they are so symmetrical. If they got on a bike, they got in the pool, they'd start to mess with their mechanics a bit, and they would probably start to screw themselves up orthopedically. But you don't see these guys needing knee replacements. You don't hear about them having hip issues and so forth. They keep that symmetry pretty darn pure, learn those mechanics early, and they don't put too many variations in it. And so they stay fairly symmetrical, as they're going.
I think a lot of it has to do with the way that they're running, though, too. I mean, I remember being young and being told you need to run heel toe. You need to hit that way, and that's. I remember thinking like, well, okay, I'm running that way, and I'd had to get the toolies put in my, in the heels of my shoes, and all right, I have to get some shoes that have a really huge pad at the back, and then all of a sudden here we are doing all this stuff, and I come to find out that there's all these studies that say usually the bigger the sole on the shoe ends up more more
problematic.
more problem to the hip just because of the way you're landing. And I think that the way to run is I think that that's huge. I think that's huge. And even with people in our gym, I'll see them with all their minimalistic shoes, but they're running heel toe, and I'm like, hello, take them off then. So like you will. I mean, I don't want people to get hurt, but it's like get off your heel, and that's why you don't hear the Kenyans. I mean, they run the way you're supposed to run, the way the body was mechanically built to run, and you just don't see that often, or at least it seems like it.
All I can say is the swoosh. The swoosh.
Maybe
it hypnotized you.
Maybe it's
it
it's the leather.
It's everybody, right? And
the leather pad, with like the leather laces on top.
The swoosh. They got us to go heel toe. I mean, they do abnormal mechanics. Talk about a little about the mechanics that you've had. I know that you use it. You've used various shoes over time. What have you found to work best for you, Van, out there? And how have you gone about the process of discovering, what seems to fit you best?
Yeah, I've been almost all my road running exclusively has been for the past 5 years or so in Newton shoes, and they're not. They were one of the first companies to come out. They're not really minimalist shoes because they're not completely bare bones, but they have these what they call lugs basically built in under your forefoot, and so those basically give you like a zero drop shoe. So basically, heel to forefoot is on a level plane. So when you run, you're almost forced to land mid-foot, which is a much more economical and safer way to run than trying to do the heel-to-toe thing. And I've always, once I found out about those shoes, I've been running those constantly. And trails, I wear various ones on trails depending on the terrain. But I gave minimal shoes a try. I even had some Vibrams for a while. When those got big, I put on a pair, and I was like, unless I'm going to go walk to the mailbox, I'm not going to run in these. I just need more support under my foot, and I like the minimalist shoes. But boy, I'll tell you, if you're on a trailer, if you catch something wrong, you feel it. And when I run, I want to concentrate on running hard, running fast, running well. I don't want to worry about stepping on a rock or landing somewhere and hurting my foot. I don't want to think about my shoes when I run. I just want to run. So
right. That's a super valid point. It's where I love that book, Chi Running. Chi Running talks a lot about that. Is you shouldn't be having to overthink about 8 million different things as you're going along, because as soon as you do, your mechanics are going to be brutal.
Right.
I mean, they're just going to be brutal. Yeah. That's the long and short of it. Hey, Van, we always appreciate you stopping by.
I love it.
Congrats on the second place. Tell us real quick what's next for you, because we've been promoting the Ironman in Kona. We know what's coming up, but what's in between these last couple months before October?
Yep, that's the big one. I got a couple races actually down in Santa Barbara, end of August. The Santa Barbara Triathlon, which I always like to do. It's a great race. And the following weekend's a Pier-to-Peak half marathon down there. Stearns Wharf to the summit of Gibraltar. It's about 4,000 feet. That's always a lot of fun, in quotes. And if
again, for the certain people like
for the certain people that like that,
I've
that
heard
kind
that's
of
a really
event.
cool race. Though. I've had a couple friends that have done that, and they really they liked it.
Yeah, it is. It's I mean, the
If you're
scenery.
gonna go that far, you better have some nice scenery. That's
Yeah,
some nice
the
scenery
scenery
down
is
there.
beautiful. It's an easy drive, a day trip. And then Tinley's, which is a couple weeks before Ironman. Scott Tinley's on Lopez Lake. That's always fun, super low key race to do. So we'll see how I feel going into that. But nothing that's going to cause any stress or concern.
Awesome stuff. We'll keep following you. I'm sure we will have you post Kona. Kona's going to be a great deal, but keep up the great work. Congrats again on that second place. Thanks for stopping by,
Thanks
man.
again, Rex. Love being here.
Awesome stuff from Van McCarty. Local Van McCarty, ripping it up, tearing it up in the Ironmans. Just over 9 hours in the Vineman this last weekend. Again, a great second place finish from him. Keep watching for these tremendous local athletes. Bill and I have been talking about it the whole hour. Some amazing stuff around here. We'll talk about the local guy from here that did very, very well in CrossFit as well. CrossFit Inferno's Bill Grundler in with me, Rex Stevens, here on Living the Run, ESPN 1280, The Ticket. Stick with us. More after the break.
You're listening to Living the Run on ESPN Radio 1280 The Ticket.
Hey guys, Paul Tarek from Living the Run here. As a former Olympian, there is only one place myself and fellow athletes go when it comes to chiropractic care on the Central Coast. With 4 chiropractors in the clinic, Slow Wellness Center is the largest, most comprehensive group of docs in San Luis Obispo County. I began seeing Dr. Rex Stevens back in 2005 for spinal adjustments to help maximize my performance, minimize my injury, and allow me to compete at my best. When the difference between a win and a loss can be just a fraction of an inch, perfect alignment in all joints is essential. One of the great things about the team at Slow Wellness is no matter where I had an issue, whether it was my spine, my foot, knee, wrist, or shoulder, they were always able to help. This team, made up of Dr. Rex and Molly Stevens, Dr. Sachs, and Dr. Bandolo, is sure to help you reach your health and fitness goals too. If it's chiropractic care you need, go where I go, Slow Wellness Center. Check them out at slowwellness.com or call 543-8688.
Folks, when it comes to the health of my teeth, I will not compromise, and neither should you. It's time you go where my wife and I go. Go see Dr. Ryan Ross. I get it. Not everyone loves a dentist, and heck, even a few of you out there are scared to death of these offices. Bad past experiences? Well, you ever had a bad haircut? How about a bad meal somewhere? You didn't stop getting your haircut, and you certainly didn't stop eating, so stop ignoring your teeth. Dr. Ross's gentle approach, calming demeanor, and office full of upbeat staff puts your dental fears to rest. Conveniently located in a great little house on Marsh Street downtown, Dr. Ross's office exudes the highest level of professionalism, mixed with an atmosphere much like your own home. Look, nobody's in a rush here. It's not a get 'em in, get 'em out atmosphere. Every time I'm in Dr. Ross's office, it's like I'm the only guy that matters. No distractions, just full focus on my oral health. If you're interested in the highest quality in dental care and want to walk out of the office every time with a smile, call Dr. Ryan Ross today, 541-5800.
Puma Aquatics team offers year-round swim programming for novice, recreational, and competitive swimmers. For 16 years, Puma has developed some of the fastest swimmers on the Central Coast, as well as the nation. Puma has 3 convenient locations to choose from, providing programming for all of San Luis Obispo County. Puma offers swim assessments for new swimmers on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the SLO Kennedy Club, Atascadero Kennedy Club, and Arroyo Grande High School. For more information about Puma Aquatics, check out pumaswim.org. Join the Puma Pride and challenge yourself to reach new levels in your swimming. Puma Aquatics, where pride, passion, and persistence pay off.
You want to get fit? And I mean really fit? Fit for fun? Fit for looking good? Fit for life? It can happen for you at Athlon Fitness and Performance in San Luis Obispo. Athlon has a 4-week fitness fast start designed to get anyone back on track and moving like a champion quickly and effectively. For a limited time, you can start Athlon's 4-week fitness fast start for only $197. That's 4 weeks of personal training, nutritional guidance, movement rehabilitation, motivation, fun, and encouragement, all for just $197. Take your body and your athleticism to a new level. Go to athlonslo.com. That's ATHLONSLO.com to learn more about the 4-week fitness fast start. It'll be the best decision you'll ever make.
We're back with Living the Run.
Welcome back to Living the Run. Good show tonight. Van McCarty, if you missed him, check us out on livingtherun.com or on facebook.com/livingtherun for any of those videos. Stoked to be in studio for the hour. Never seems like the hour is enough.
I know, huh?
Does it? Yeah, I think
time flies when you're having fun.
I think we need more time. Athlete owner, color commentator, CrossFit Inferno's Bill Grundler. Hey, I think we got to comment. We had Van in here, local athlete, doing great. We had a local guy qualify for the World Championships here, Wes Pyatt. Talked about Wes's performance and just what he's doing athletically as well.
I'll tell you what's crazy about Wes. He's one of our trainers. Actually, they just moved out of the area. He's opening up his own CrossFit gym up in Gilroy. He was with us for just over 2 years, I guess. Last year, when they go through the qualifying, you have the Open, which is the worldwide qualifier. Then you have the regionals, and then you have the games. He just missed qualifying for the regionals last year, so they took 60 to regionals. We were in the Southern California region. He was actually 61st, so that was a little heartbreaking. He was actually on our team last year, which was good to have him there, so he was able to get that little competitive spirit in there. But that was his goal this year, was to make it to regionals. He makes it to regionals, had a phenomenal weekend. I mean, went from about, I think at one point, he didn't have a very good first workout, and he was sitting around 20th place and then worked his way up to 3rd place, which was the last qualifying spot. And overall, I think it would have put him around 25 or 30th worldwide for his events. I mean, for all the regional events. And then as he made his way through the games, I mean, we did a lot of training for him. Had him. They always throw some swimming in there, so we had to make sure he did some swimming and some other types of training. So the very first event that he had was a swim, which was 10 rounds of you swim 25 meters, get out of the pool, have to do 3 bar muscle ups, which is basically like a pull up where you pull yourself all the way up on top of the bar, back down 3 of those, back in the pool for 25 meters back, and that's one round. He had 10 of them. It was amazing to see how many athletes weren't very good swimmers. I mean, you see these like just insane specimens of athletes, but he went out and actually placed 6th overall out of the field with that. And I think, just based off the training that we had, and it just hit some of his background, California kid and a surfer kid and all that kind of stuff. So did really well there. They also had a sprint event, which is basically like a football player. They give you the 3, 2, 1, go. You take off about 15 yards. Then they have pilings. And you have to, right shoulder the first piling, go out to it, and then basically have them set up like a diamond. Left shoulder the next one, cut straight across. Right shoulder the next one, left shoulder the last one, and then a full all-out sprint. And it's about a 50-meter distance is what the whole thing is. And he was 9th in that one overall. So had a couple really, really strong showings. Again, it was his first time there. Kind of you hate to say that someone has like first time, not blues, but like you go there to something like that. And when you're working out in the gym, and then all of a sudden you're in an arena, with 25,000 people watching you drag a sled or something like that. I mean, there's a little bit of a shock value to it. I know he's going to come back with a vengeance next year. I mean, he's fired up. I talked to him afterwards and, all throughout, but he was like, I really thought I would be okay with that. And I'm not disappointed with how I did. He's like, but oh man, I'm pissed and I want next year so bad to get here. So he's fired up and I'm excited about that. It was fun to have him go there. We also actually had a Masters competitor who was there for his second time in the Masters division from the 55 to 59 age group. He ended up placing 13th, so 13th worldwide for him, Robbie Lorber. So we have some pretty good
local guy.
Yeah, local guy.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, he's a mailman. He's a mailman out of Morro Bay. So those guys out
does
there.
he walk his route?
I make him put on a weight vest and make him run it. No, yeah, he walks it. Yeah,
well,
he walks
I mean, that's big, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So many people driving the routes, but if he's walking the routes, he's got the metabolism always cranking, keeping the endurance up.
Yeah.
As Van said, you can go for 24 hours. We know the human can.
You just got to know your pace.
Just got to know your pace.
Yeah. So, I mean, the cool thing with Wes is, I mean, he's a local firefighter. He works for CAL FIRE out at the Pismo station. He's a reserve there. So, it's nice. I think it's pretty cool. I liked it because that's what I did. I mean, as when I was a fire captain, I just retired this year, but when I was a fire captain, I like to tell the community that, like, hey, we got this, and that's what Wes is able to do to the community. Is like, hey, guess what, Pismo Beach area, you have one of the fittest people on the planet in your area. So if you fall down, he's going to pick you back up, and I just think that's awesome. I mean, Wes did a great job this year. It was amazing.
Awesome. Hats off to Wes, and hats off to Wes too. Starting a gym up there in Gilroy. He's going to do great up there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Bill, give us a tip and takeaway, something for the listeners to take home, something that they can add to their life, either tonight, tomorrow. It's never too late to get in a little exercise, something they might be able to do to just improve their fitness. Very simply,
the simplest thing is exactly what we talked about earlier. Is don't let anything stray you from what you need to do. If you need to get an activity and if you need to get a workout in, doesn't have to be long. Like I said, if when in doubt, man, do 7 minutes of burpees. I'll tell you what, it will be an amazing workout for you. But pick something. Doesn't have to be all creative. Pick it, go with it, and be happy with that. And then, get yourself into the gym the next day.
Yeah, I got to say that, the whole thing that was resonating in my head the whole time was listening to Steve Prefontaine in my head. That guy when you watch that documentary.
Totally.
What did he say? He said to give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift.
Oh, absolutely.
Van McCarty's doing it. You doing it. You got the people over there at CrossFit doing it. And I think that's the one thing misunderstood a little bit over there at CrossFit is that's all we're trying to do is give the best.
Yep.
And then when you sacrifice that, you get one life or at least one that we know about.
Yeah.
And so maximize it.
Maximize it.
Get
all
out
the way
there,
to the
get the
end.
blood to boil. No question about it. That can be done. Well, it's awesome, man. I appreciate you coming in as always.
Love being here.
Yeah, it's a good stuff. We'll have to get the trio going. We'll get Paul Tarek back. I think the Olympian's going to be back in next week.
Cool.
And the CrossFit stuff again, it carries over so well to the decathlon and to diversity, to adaptation, and that's what we need in humanism. Essentially to maximize our health, get rid of all these chronic diseases. Crazy
I agree.
stuff, man.
I agree. Knock them out with some burpees.
Knock them out with some 7 minutes of burpees, folks. 2,000 meters of rowing. See if you can beat 650. Hey, as always, we say live healthy, live bold. You come live the run. The CJ Silas Show next. Oakland Raider defensive end, Andre Carter.